We've done it. We've been to every single Disney theme park in the world. All 12 of them, spread across 6 resorts from Florida to Tokyo, Paris to Shanghai. And now, after years of queuing, eating aggressively overpriced novelty snacks, getting sunburned, caught in the rain, and occasionally crying at fireworks, we're finally ranking them. People often ask which is the best to visit and which is the worst. So, here it is. And this list isn't just based on ride counts or crowd levels, though those matter, but on the full experience, the atmosphere, the entertainment, the design, the charm, and the moments that stick with you long after you've left. We've got a lot to cover, so from worst to best, let's jump into the one that everybody is likely already expecting.
Walt Disney Studios Park, or Disney Adventure World as it will be known sometime in the future, is the second theme park at the Disneyland Paris resort. If you've been, then I don't think you'll be surprised to find this park at the bottom of the list. It is the smallest Disney park both in terms of size and attraction count, and almost every attraction it has is either a clone or has been done better elsewhere. This is one of the few Disney parks that you can genuinely call bad. The theming is inconsistent, the design is cheap, and the layout is confusing. Probably the only things going for it are that some of the attractions can be considered fun, and it does contain some of the best Disney theme park shows around, with a particular highlight being Mickey and the Magician. If you are visiting, make sure to check out their super unique version of Tower of Terror, take a spin with Crush the Turtle, and watch a sentient truck get destroyed by a torrent of water and flames. We aren't alone in thinking that this park is weak though. Even Disney knows it. They are currently in the middle of a giant expansion that is bringing changes to almost every corner of the park, with the World of Frozen set to open next year and a Lion King flume ride sometime in the future, all situated around an impressive lagoon that will almost double the size of the park. Speaking of overhauls, we've recently done one to our video style, and if you've been enjoying our content recently, we'd love for you to subscribe and help us reach our dream goal of 100,000 subscribers. Look, there's a hole in the wall. I can put that play button right there. Sorry, Dom, it's gotta go here. It's the perfect spot. And if you want to support us further, check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Surprisingly, while Walt Disney Studios may be the smallest Disney park, coming in next at number 11 is Disney's biggest.
I really like Animal Kingdom, but objectively, it just doesn't have a whole lot going for it. The park is massive, beautifully themed, and genuinely peaceful in places. There's something special about wandering through the lush pathways of Pandora or the quiet corners of Asia. But when it comes to actual things to do, the list feels surprisingly short. Now, let's be fair, the headliners here are excellent. Flight of Passage is still one of the best rides at Walt Disney World. Expedition Everest remains Disney's greatest coaster. And if the animals are in a cooperative mood, Kilimanjaro safaris can be genuinely magical. Plus, Festival of the Lion King is a fantastic stage show, and fun fact, there's a version in Hong Kong Disneyland too, though it's weirdly different. They kind of change things up. It's hard to choose which one is better. They also have Finding Nemo the musical here, and whoa boy, that is a show. But beyond that short list, the must-dos start to dry up. A large part of the park is devoted to walking trails and animal exhibits, which I personally enjoy. But in today's hyper-scheduled Disney experience where every minute feels like a race to your next lightning lane or dining reservation, spending 45 minutes looking at tapers can feel hard to justify. Especially when, let's be honest, you could see a lot of the same animals at your local zoo for a lot less money. It also doesn't help that the park still has a reputation as a half-day park, and unfortunately it kind of lives up to it. It closes earlier than the others, there's no nighttime spectacular, and large sections of the park can just feel unused. A big chunk of it is currently closed off for construction on Tropical Americas, which hopefully will help give the park the content boost it desperately needs. I want to love Animal Kingdom more than I do. It's immersive, it's relaxing, and it has some real standout experiences, but right now, it's a gorgeous park with too little to do, and that's why it ends up here near the bottom of the list. And coming up, would you be surprised to hear it's another Walt Disney World park?
Coming in at number 10 is the Magic Kingdom. Now this placement may be making you grab your pitchforks and torches, but let us explain. The Magic Kingdom may be the world's most visited theme park, but it feels more like an obligation when visiting Walt Disney World than something to be genuinely excited about. This park has very little going for it, acting as a jack of all trades and a master of none. In almost all aspects, from theming to entertainment to rides, it's easily beaten by both its sister parks around Walt Disney World and other parks in Orlando. The park is an absolute mecca for classic Disney attractions, but again, internationally, almost everything on offer at the Magic Kingdom is done better elsewhere. The Magic Kingdom will forever be the theme park I've spent the most time in, and I love my time working there. But as a theme park, it's just decent. I'd rather spend my time at some of our other higher Orlando theme parks, or even over at Universal Orlando Resort. But back to the Magic Kingdom, the major attractions are often busy, and your day is likely to be spent surrounded by screaming children and exhausted adults alike, wandering through a park that feels like it's on the surface of the sun. The main draws for the Magic Kingdom for us are probably very different to most people. I could happily ride the People Mover, see the Carousel of Progress, laugh at that guy at Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, and call it a day. However, if you haven't been to a Disney park before, you will likely love the Magic Kingdom. In that case, it's a great mix of classic Disney rides centered around a spectacular castle with probably the best nighttime spectacular in any Kingdom-style park, rounding out your day. The park just needs that little bit more for the busiest theme park in the world. It's missing a major stage show, missing some big international drawcard attractions, and missing enough to do. But hopefully the upcoming Cars and Villains expansions will help to fill these gaps just a little bit. But moving on, what a surprise! It's yet another Walt Disney World park.
This Walt Disney World park has arguably the best rides, and yet somehow is one of the least enjoyable parks to be in. Welcome to Disney MGM Studios. Still get confused. Disney's Hollywood Studios. Let's be clear, this park is stacked. You've got the iconic Tower of Terror, Steven Tyler screaming at you in Rock and Roller Coaster, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, just to name a few. If you're a thrill seeker or a fan of cutting-edge ride technology, this is a paradise for you. But here's the catch. All those headliners come at a cost, and that cost is your time. Hollywood Studios is painfully top-heavy. It doesn't have enough to do in between those big attractions, so unless you're a master of refreshing premiere pass or visiting on a low-crowd day, most of your time is spent either stuck in a queue or wandering through packed pathways searching for something with a wait time under 90 minutes. That said, credit where it's due. Hollywood Studios is also home to Walt Disney World's best shows. Indiana Jones' Epic Stunt Spectacular is still, well, spectacular more than 35 years after opening. And Fantasmic, still phenomenal. The arena atmosphere, the music, the energy, it's a perfect way to end your day, if you can stick it out that long. Really though, the park has gone through a bit of an identity crisis. Originally, MGM Studios, it once offered a peek behind the curtain at how movies were made. That unique factor is long gone. These days, it's more of a greatest hits compilation of Disney's biggest franchises. Star Wars, Toy Story, Mickey Mouse, they're all here. But the original studio theme, pretty much lost to time, and it kind of makes this just a collection of things instead of a cohesive theme park. Still, for all the heavy hitters, Hollywood Studios is one of those parks that looks great on paper until you arrive and notice the ridiculous wait times for every single attraction. It's an exhausting experience, and that's why it lands here at number 9. Coming in next is a park actually outside of Walt Disney World, but not outside of the United States of America.
I have a big soft spot for Disney California Adventure in all of its variations over the years. But I recognize a lot of my love for this park comes from the fact that it's so close to Disneyland, you almost treat it just like an extension of that park. Depending when you last visited, in 2025 the park could be almost completely different, with it arguably seeing the most significant changes of any Disney park in the first 20-odd years of its existence. On paper, there are only a couple of must-do rides in the park. Guardians of the Galaxy is insanely fun and, dare I say, better than the version of Tower of Terror it replaced. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Radiator Springs Races is a modern marvel of an attraction, and the Pixar pal-around swinging gondolas are a rite of passage. But outside of these first two, there isn't really much else to do that you can't miss when visiting the park. Disney seems to acknowledge this too, with them adding a new Avengers e-ticket, a giant new Avatar land, and a Coco boat ride in the upcoming years. One thing that the park really gets right is the vibes. Radiator Springs is spectacular to be in, the lands around Paradise Bay create some beautiful vistas, and places like the Animation Building could be sat in for hours. And let's not forget, they also have free bread and a sourdough documentary hosted by Colin Mockery and Rosie O'Donnell. What more could you possibly want? But arguably the biggest weakness of DCA is that previously mentioned strength. Disneyland is right there. You can't help but think, man, I wish it was a Disneyland right now. And with it in such close proximity, you often find yourself wandering back over there anyway. This video is sponsored by Saley. Nothing in life is certain except death, taxes, and Disney absolutely insisting you use their phone apps. No matter which Disney park you visit, your phone and internet access aren't optional anymore. From booking rides to checking wait times and finding food, the app is essential. But between patchy Wi-Fi and international roaming fees, staying connected can be a pain or expensive. But that's where Saley comes in. It's an eSIM provider that gives you fast, reliable internet wherever you go in the world without the roaming charges. We're based in Australia, so every Disney trip is international for us. These days, we don't leave the country without a Saley eSIM. It came in extra clutch recently at Shanghai Disneyland, where not only did we stay connected in the park, but we were also able to bypass China's Great Firewall. Still watching YouTube, posting to Instagram, and messaging our wives, definitely not telling them about how much fun we were having. And if you're visiting multiple countries on one trip, Saley offers regional and global plans too. So if you're heading overseas, be sure to download the Saley app or head to saley.com/reviewtime and use code reviewtime at checkout for an exclusive 15% off your data plan.
Coming in at number 7 is Epcot, the one park in Orlando where you could ride nothing and still have an amazing day. That's a bold claim, but this is the most vibes-based Disney park in the world, and that's almost entirely thanks to World Showcase. On paper, it sounds weird paying theme park prices just to walk around, eat, and shop, but at Epcot, that's pretty much the dream. It's a place where aimlessly strolling with a snack and a drink is the attraction. That said, the park does have some excellent rides. Ignore the giant ugly show building and the fact that it might make you chunder. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is one of the standout attractions at Walt Disney World. It's high-speed, smooth, full of twists and turns, and it's all backed with a rotating playlist of 80s bangers. It's just pure fun. Then there are the slower classics. Spaceship Earth and Living with the Land let you kick back for 20 quiet minutes and relive the old-school glory days of Epcot. Now, we haven't seen the new test track yet, but let's be honest, no matter the theme, everyone's just there for the high-speed finale. It's still gonna be fun. Rotating festivals also help to keep the park dynamic and part you with your precious dollars as you attempt to eat and drink everything around the world. Not that I would have ever done that, I'm a good little boy. But for all of that, Epcot still feels like a park in transition. Despite the recent massive overhaul, it still needs a lot of work. Many of the pavilions feel aggressively outdated. There are abandoned structures sitting in plain view. That big transformation we were promised, only half delivered thanks to COVID. The Mary Poppins ride, cancelled. The Spaceship Earth update, shelved. Journey into Imagination, still a nightmarish fever dream. And much of the entertainment and shows on offer, like the big 360 films, unintentionally remind you that the slow march of time is coming for us all. But hey, at least there's good margaritas.
Coming in at number 6 is Shanghai Disneyland. This was the last Disney park we had to tick off our list, and it's easily the most unique kingdom-style park. It's almost a bizarro land version of everything you expect a Disney castle park to be. All of the familiar IPs and attractions are there, but they're almost all done in unique and different ways. But to see them all, you better have your walking legs on, as this park is stupidly large, and most of your day will be spent walking from one attraction to the next. If you've only heard one thing about this park, it's either that the castle is stupidly big, and yes it is, just like the rest of the park, or you've heard the fact it has the most unique Pirates of the Caribbean in the world. This ride is simply incredible, featuring effects you won't find on any other attraction anywhere. It's worth visiting this park just for this ride alone. But other unique offerings include the original and the best version of Tron Light Cycle Run that the entire Tomorrowland is focused on, an exclusive boat ride that takes you inside the castle, but it's kind of mid, and the most uniquely terrifying ropes course we have ever done. One that left us shaking in fear of falling down a 10-foot hole with no clear way out. Surprisingly, for a modern Disney park, this one is quite well rounded, and doesn't have the issue of being super top heavy. The park completes its attraction lineup with some decent filler attractions, such as all of Toy Story Land, as well as a bunch of other flat rides and smaller attractions. New additions like Zootopia also help to fill out the park with more exclusive attractions you won't find anywhere else. And the land itself is just as much of a draw as the major ride is, being one of the most kinetically active lands we have ever been in. One place we do feel this park doesn't quite live up to those that rank above it is in the entertainment. Everything else in the park was done on an incredible scale we've never seen before, but the entertainment was lackluster and rather small scale in comparison. The main stage show is just the same one you can get at Hong Kong Disneyland, and the day parade almost felt like a cavalcade at points. The nighttime show is spectacular, but good luck seeing it from a premium viewing location unless you're willing to wait in a sea of people for hours on end. Thankfully, the merch game is on point, and we bought more than we probably should have. Look at this thing, it's incredible. How could I not buy it? It goes perfectly with my partner's statue, and now I just need the one of them on the bench from Hong Kong Disneyland. Complete the set.
When building Disneyland Paris in the 90s, Disney wanted this park to be the perfected version of a kingdom-style theme park. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about there, that's basically Disney parks with castles like Disneyland or the Magic Kingdom. I genuinely feel they achieved that goal because Disneyland Paris is stunning. but it's very much stuck in the 90s. I first visited Disneyland Paris in 2011 and haven't been back since, and it's wild to think that with nothing on the horizon, the next time I visit there will likely be the exact same ride lineup as I experienced now almost 14 years ago. Cheeky little Walt Disney Studios Park, or Adventure World, or whatever it decides to be called, has demanded so much attention from the resort that Disneyland Paris hasn't seen any major attraction additions in decades. The last ride to open here was Buzz Lightyear Laser Blast, which opened in 2006. You could argue that Star Tours got a redo in 2017, but it's been in the park since 1992, so that doesn't count. Still, it doesn't make Disneyland Paris a bad park. There are tons of charming elements that make it unique. Big Thunder Mountain takes you on an island. Their Haunted Mansion equivalent Phantom Manor has a story which ties into all of Frontierland. There are fun little walkthroughs scattered all around the park, and Tomorrowland has been replaced by Jules Verne-inspired Discoveryland. Speaking of, their Space Mountain here is a launch coaster with inversions. Word of warning, having done this 7 times in a row, it's very intense, but a ton of fun. It's just a shame that to this day it's still overlaid with Hyperspace Mountain, which ruins the brilliant original storyline scattered throughout the coaster. Despite the lack of new attractions, it's a testament to the original design of the park that it still ranks so high. Genuinely, it is a charming and beautiful park, and all of the entertainment they've added as of late looks breathtaking, though I do think a little bit of work will go a long way.
The top 4 parks were the most difficult to place, and I feel this might be our most contentious placement of the entire list, but it's Hong Kong Disneyland at number 4. If you haven't been here, on paper it just looks fine, but actually visiting you realize how special this park has become in the Disney Parks lineup. It's full of charm. It really does feel like a sister park to Disneyland now, instead of just being a cheap imitation. Over the years, Hong Kong Disneyland has been the park we've consistently gone to bat for. Whilst it opened in a heavily disappointing state, each year the park has gotten better and better, now having one of the best rounded lineups in the world. It is the park we consistently recommend to people as their perfect first Disney park. Interestingly, they don't have a ton of the classics you might expect from a Disney park. There's no Pirates of the Caribbean here. There's only one traditional Fantasyland dark ride, and there's only one mountain, and unfortunately it's Hyperspace Mountain. Look, the reason I'm hosting this section is because Dom's hatred for Hyperspace Mountain would have simply overtaken the entire video. However, the gaps in the traditional lineup are instead filled with unique, one-of-a-kind offerings, such as Big Grizzly Mountain Runaway Minecars, a roller coaster jam-packed with surprises and secrets. There's also the Iron Man experience, where you get to fight alongside Iron Man across the city of Hong Kong itself, and of course, Mystic Manor. Reason enough alone to visit this park. Mystic Manor might just be the best trackless dark ride at any Disney park, and we challenge you to leave without buying at least one piece of Albert the Monkey merchandise. We tried, it's impossible, but good luck if you take the challenge. The recent edition of Arendelle, The World of Frozen is also incredible. While the ride is essentially just the Epcot version and isn't as great as the Tokyo Disney Sea attraction, the land itself is arguably better here than in Japan, feeling more real and immersive, packed with interactive moments, shops, restaurants, and of course, mossy. The park's entertainment lineup is also spectacular, and may very well be the best in the world. The 2 stage shows of Mickey and the Wondrous Book and the Festival of the Lion King are incredible don't-miss experiences. And the nighttime fireworks is the perfect way to finish out your day. And the new parade for the 20th anniversary looks like the best the park has ever had. And this isn't to mention all the smaller streetmosphere and other entertainment offerings that truly make this park come to life. We've said it for the last 7 years we've had this channel, and we will continue to say it. You have to visit Hong Kong Disneyland and see it for yourself. Trust us, it's worth the trek. And it's super easy to get to from the airport, has multiple really nice hotels to choose from, and can easily be completed in a day or two. What more do you need to know? But next, over to a park that could very much be done on the same trip as this one. A Disney double-up vacation we've done multiple times in the past.
Tokyo Disneyland is what the Magic Kingdom could be if it addressed all of its problems. Despite being over 40 years old, the park feels anything but dated. There are respectful nods to its classic Disney roots, but consistent upgrades have kept it firmly in the modern age. Just look at Space Mountain, currently being completely rebuilt from the ground up. Like, they knocked down their original Space Mountain to build a new one, and what they're building looks incredible. Honestly, this renovation of Tomorrowland alone might be worth waiting for before booking your next trip. Attraction-wise, Tokyo Disneyland is stacked. You've got the classics, Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Mountain, Pirates of the Caribbean, Splash Mountain, all executed with a level of polish that often surpasses their counterparts in the US. But what really makes this park shine is its modern lineup. The Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast is a stunning, immersive retelling of Belle's story, and easily one of the most beautiful rides that Disney has ever built. And around the corner is Pooh's Honey Hunt, the world's first trackless dark ride, and still more than 2 decades later, one of the best dark rides in the world. And that's just scratching the surface. There's Star Tours, Monsters Inc., Ride and Go Seek, all the classic Fantasyland attractions, and one of my personal favorites, the Enchanted Tiki Room, Stitch Presents Aloha Ikomai. People sleep on this attraction, but it always leaves me with a stupid grin on my face. On top of all of that, Tokyo Disneyland puts a huge emphasis on live entertainment. Whether it's a parade, a projection show, or a full-blown stage spectacular, the park is constantly introducing new offerings, and they're not just updates. They're some of the best productions Disney has ever put together. Feels like every time you visit, there's something new to see and experience, and I love that about this park. If there's one thing holding Tokyo Disney back, though, it's the crowds. This park can get busy, and I mean really busy. Navigating the day can become a strategic challenge, with wait times for the biggest rides easily creeping past 90 minutes, and that's on a good day. Still, even with the crowds, Tokyo Disneyland is packed with charm, detail, and just genuine magic. And when you need a break from the chaos, there are pockets of calm, like Tom Sawyer Island or the quieter corners of Critter Country. They offer a moment to breathe and soak it all in. It's a park that respects the past whilst boldly moving into the future, and that's why it earns its place here near the very top of our list. But it's not quite as good as our number 2 park, which is exactly how a ranked list works.
At number 2, it's Disneyland in California. The original, the park that changed theme parks forever, and the one that just celebrated its 70th anniversary. It's just as much a living museum dedicated to Disney Parks history as it is a theme park. And that's a spectacular thing. The fact that this is the only park that Walt truly walked through gives it a special feeling that can't really be explained through words or photos. It's a feeling of respect that all of the creatives over the last 70 years have given to the park, and one that truly makes it feel special and one of a kind. It doesn't just have the classics, this is the home of the classics. This is where the journey started for so many attractions that we consider Disney staples to this day. The park is jam-packed with 37 rides, making it the most densely packed Disney park by a significant margin, with the second place being Tokyo Disneyland with just 24 rides. But the park doesn't just have more rides, it has a ton of exclusive rides you won't find anywhere else, and other rides that are easily the best version of that attraction anywhere in the world. Indiana Jones Adventure is a masterclass in themed attraction design over 30 years after it first opened. Rides like Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion are big parts of the reason modern theme parks are so incredible. And where else in the world can you jump aboard a ride where you drink, drive, die, and then end up in hell? Plus, while Galaxy's Edge does feel slightly out of place in this park, you can't go past the fact that it has Rise of the Resistance, arguably the best theme park experience anywhere in the world. We could talk about this park for hours, but let's have a quick speed round of more reasons that this park is so unique. The food here is heavenly. The park has layers and layers of history and tidbits like Club 33 that you can keep discovering more and more. It's also packed with chill rides, so despite being busy, you can always have a relaxing time, and it's the only park in the world that once housed the ugly baby, though we can never forgive them for removing him. It's funny because whilst Disney California Adventure is way back towards the bottom of this list, its existence complements Disneyland. It's hard to treat these as two separate parks when they're closer together than two lands might be at some of the other Disney parks around the world. I first visited Disneyland 25 years ago, and it's the reason this channel exists. It's the reason I met my wife, and it's still my favorite place in the world to visit. Even my co-host Dom has Disneyland to thank for his obsession with theme parks and how they work, because of his first trip there back in 2008. However, you'll notice this park is only at number 2, and that's because one park transcends even the idea of what a theme park can be.
I don't think anyone's going to be shocked by this one. Tokyo Disney Sea takes the top spot, and honestly, it's not even close. Now, to be clear, this is not the easiest theme park in the world to visit. It's busy, it requires a completely different approach than any other Disney park, and if you want to have a good day here, you'd better be showing up well before opening, almost 2 hours sometimes, but damn, is it worth the effort? The rides here are incredible, and yet somehow, that's not even the most important part. This park doesn't feel themed. It feels like a series of real places you can explore. From Mediterranean Harbor to Mysterious Island to the brand new Fantasy Springs, Disney Sea immerses you in a way that makes almost every other theme park feel like a stage set by comparison. Now yes, it's huge. You'll be walking a lot. From the front gate to Fantasy Springs alone is nearly a 15-minute walk, but honestly, you probably won't mind. The park is just that stunning. Speaking of Fantasy Springs, it's a fantastic new addition. Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey is one of the most technologically impressive boat rides we've ever experienced, and brought a tear to both mine and Luke's eye on our first ride. I don't even like Frozen all that much, but this one just hit a spot. Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure is another standout, a technological marvel. It's easily one of the best rides Disney has built in the last decade. It marries screens and physical sets in a way that other hybrid attractions struggle to achieve. And then there's the vibes. Oh man, the vibes. This is one of the very few parks where I could genuinely spend an entire day without riding a single attraction and still feel like I got my money's worth. Just being at Tokyo Disney Sea is the attraction, and when I speak of getting my money's worth, this park is also cheap. It's only around 100 Australian dollars or like 70 US dollars, depending, it kind of fluctuates, but it's very cheap. As kind of a speed round, there's a fantastic nighttime spectacular. Tower of Terror has its own unique storyline, no Twilight Zone, but plenty of Joe Rohde weirdness. The theming across the board is phenomenal. Every path, every corner, every skyline view feels intentional. You've heard it all before, but it bears repeating. Objectively, this is Disney's best park. That's not to say it's perfect, and you'll probably realize that with this, we're kind of trying to sandwich the good and the bad, because we've had a few people say that we kind of talk up Tokyo Disney Sea a little bit too much. And I agree, we do, because one of the problems is that you kind of need to go in knowing that for all of that good, there's also a lot of negatives that you need to kind of mitigate. Such as the park is top-heavy. The attractions can have massive waits, and with such a sprawling layout, it can be overwhelming. I've spoken to plenty of people who said visiting was just too much for them, and I completely get it. If you've only got one day here, it's going to be tough to do it all. But even with all of that in mind, it's hard to imagine putting any other park above Tokyo Disney Sea. Every expansion, every ride, every entertainment offering has all built on the park's legacy as one of the greatest achievements in themed entertainment. But look, we've been lying all of these years. The real reason it's number one: curry popcorn. Honestly, the whole park could just be a curry popcorn stand, and I'd probably still put it at the top. I tried to make that stuff at home. It's very hard. You can't replicate. You can only get this here. So onto a $2,000 flight to go to Tokyo just to eat curry popcorn. I'd do it.
But just how right or wrong were we? Let us know in the comments below your ranking of all the Disney parks. For review time, we've been Luke and Dom. Thanks for watching, and thanks again to Saley for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check them out and use code REVIEWTIME at checkout for an exclusive 15% off discount.